Hello, welcome back to Carlist. My name's Adam, and today we're going to look at why Proton killed off the manual variants in the Persona and Iriz. Let's start with Persona and Iriz updates. In 2019, the Persona and Iriz MC1 cars got a big update. They mostly replaced a lot of hardware, including some hardware in the CVT transmission, and it's better, but not the best. So the MC2 car got further updates, 200 new parts to be exact, and they also gave the CVT some software updates. So as it stands, the Iriz consists of the standard, the executive, and the new variant called the active. The Persona, it's got the standard, the executive, and the range-topping premium variant. So what was missing this time compared to the MC1 cars is there's no longer a manual option for these cars, and the simple reason for it really is because there's just no demand for it. No one's buying it. You guys are not buying it. So yeah, I mean, this, according to Proton, is a model rationalization, so why should they invest in the manual cars or sell them if no one's buying it? In fact, it's not just all how they feel using Jedi mind predictions. Actually, only 3% of Iriz and Persona sales were manual cars, so that's like nothing really. And then to further back that up, out of the total industry volume of cars that be sold in manual variants, it's only like 5%. So that's like out of like 530,000 cars, only 5% of that were manual. So yeah, the manual is dying as no one's buying it. So you can't moan why car manufacturers are not offering the manual variants if no one's buying them. It's just, shall just keep them just for you guys a little bit, just so that only a little bit of you can buy it? You think about it. If you run a business and this area of your business is making a loss, are you going to continue selling it? I don't think so, right? So anyway, I mean, yes, it's for real men anyway, this is a big loss. But for most people who do buy the Proton Iriz and Persona, they use it as a daily driver, and traffic jams, congested roads, and the convenience of it all, it's better if they just give people a CVT. And yeah, okay, everyone's got gripes with Proton's CVT, especially in the Persona Iriz, but they've done some software updates which should make them better cars to drive, and these include things like the neutral idle control, the eco mode, which is when you are driving above 70 kilometers an hour, the clutch disengages, so it's kind of coasting, saves you fuel. But I think where it will make the most difference, how it feels for the CVT anyway, is the SAT feature, which is now built part into CVT. So the SAT, which is like a step auto transmission, stepped feeling of the CVT transmission. So okay, so in a normal CVT, when you press on the accelerator, it just kind of just revs all the way to, like, I don't know, 5,000 revs, and just kind of stays there till it gets its optimum power. So what Proton have done is, by doing this software update, so now the CVT revs like a normal car, so it goes down, up and down, just like a normal automatic transmission. So that this should give you feel like you are driving a normal automatic transmission, and make the car a bit more refined and a bit more pleasurable to drive. Okay, a lot of you might have said that the easy way to implement this into the Persona and Iriz is to plonk in that new 4AT transmission from the Saga into the Persona Iriz. Well, you know what, Proton tried. Proton are not just doing things just for the sake of things. They tried, but they couldn't get the fuel efficiency that they were aiming for the Persona Iriz with the 480 transmission. So and they said that they wanted to put a regular auto transmission inside the Persona Iriz. They would have to put a 6-speed auto transmission, and to them this would have cost a lot of money, and it just wouldn't make sense. So especially because when they say that a new car is coming, we'll see. I mean, we had this meeting with Proton's vehicle program executive Iriz bin Ibrahim, and a couple of times he did mention, I don't know if it's on the slide or it slipped out, he did mention that a new car is coming. So yeah, I mean, this is probably the last line for the Persona and Iriz, so it just didn't make sense for them to invest a lot of money in these cars. So yeah, they've tried to make the car better within their budget constraints. So yeah, I mean, who really is going to buy a manual Iriz and Persona? I mean, is anyone really asking for it? Even like taxi drivers these days, they're driving CVT automatic cars. It just makes better sense. And now, like, okay, people used to buy manual cars because they're fuel efficient, hence why taxi drivers used to like them. But with the ever improving fuel efficiency of these automatic transmissions, I don't see a reason why you buy them, unless you're trying to go on a track or something, and race on the weekends, but that's not the Persona and Iriz. This is a car built for a daily driver, and yes, we do have like race versions of these cars, but for most of the time these cars are going to be bought as a daily driver, going through busy roads, driving to work in the morning, driving back in the evening, going through traffic jams. So it just made better sense for Proton to concentrate on bettering the automatic transmission, which they did. And they said that by removing the manual variants, they could put the money from there into the improvements in the Iriz. So yeah, the Persona and Iriz, not only did it get 200 new parts where they improve a lot of things such as the interior bits, refinement and everything, so they also invested that money into the CVT transmission, which is much better now. By the way, if you wanted to know how the neutral idle control works in the Persona and Iriz, basically, according to Proton, or as we all know, a lot of Malaysians are lazy to shift into a neutral when in stop, or so now the neutral idle control, even if you don't put it in neutral in D and the car comes to stop, the CVT clutch disengages and rests, so it doesn't burn more fuel like it's being engaged in drive. So yeah, I mean, Proton have thought about this, and yeah, you gotta give them a little bit of kudos for that. They haven't just tried to do things just for no reason and without any feedback. I mean, all of this, according to them, is according to feedback and market research. So yeah, I mean, yes, the manual is no longer there, but hey, like we said, did you buy one? No? Oh, that's okay then. Well, okay, that's one of the reasons why, well, not one, but a few reasons why Proton killed off the manual variants in the Iriz and the Persona. So yeah, if you want to change this, start buying manual cars. Maybe you can buy the previous one and show Proton how much you like them. And then I just really don't see it happening. Like we said before, total industry volume 530,000 cars. Only 5% of those sold were manual. So yeah, Malaysians, you're not really buying manual cars, so yeah, don't moan really. Anyway, thank you once again for tuning in, and